Yeah.
Hello, 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 hello,
Welcome, everybody.
hello. Hi, everyone. It's good to see you all.
All these shiny, shiny faces.
I've been away for ages. Well, 3 weeks.
All right, folks. Welcome to the Sid City Social Club for Friday, October 14th. Also, premiere day for Shantram. Hooray.
Hooray!
We're excited you're here. I'm Mel with SidCity.net. That, of course, is Sid, beaming to us live from an undisclosed location on his VPN.
Of course, is Sid.
Of course it is. We've got several people who have birthdays today that we're celebrating. So if you signed up for your birthday shout out, please use the raise hand feature so that I can find you quickly when it's your turn and we can yell at you from multiple countries and continents. All right, over to Sid.
Hi, everybody. Here I am in a country in Europe, which is not full. I'm trying to think of a way of describing it. Only if you actually know which country it is would you even.
You've actually already said where you are. I was just being
good. I'm allowed to say this time. I keep getting my hand slapped. I'm in Hungary. I'm in Budapest, in fact. Budapest. Yes, I'm going to be an Airbnb, and you can see this delightful artwork behind me. I hope they belong to the owner of this place, i.e. they're his daughters, or at least one of them is, and they're going to a prom or something. Because otherwise there is just no excuse to have that kind of artwork in the room. But whoever it is likes it, he or she or they, whoever they are. But there it is, and that's the only art in the house, so that's really interesting. I'm halfway through shooting this extravaganza, so we're on a company break right now for a week while they get the next set of scripts together, which is kind of unusual, but we're doing it anyway. Normally they'd have to do this while we're, chew gum and talk. So I knew I could be off today, which is not the case, and probably won't be the case for the rest of the shoot, but we'll see how we do. So let's get going and say hi to some peeps.
Let's do it. We're going to say happy birthday to Robin.
Robin.
Hello. Oh,
it's your birthday. Something's going on.
The cat got her claws stuck in the tablecloth and spilt my drink all over my parents' Andy Stewart record.
Oh no. Happy birthday, Robin.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Robin.
Robin.
Happy birthday, Robin.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Wow, that was a full-on chorus. And how is your birthday? When is it? Has it happened yet? Sorry, I didn't even know.
It's today.
It's today. It's never today. That's amazing. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So are you going to go out this evening? Are you going to do something fun, or are you going to stay in? Or are you going to do something fun in?
My mom is barbecuing steaks.
Oh.
And I'm probably going to watch Shantram.
Oh. Well, I don't know whether that's fun or not. I haven't seen it. But I hope it is. I really do. It's great. Well, you'll find out for yourself. You'll have a watch. My son went to see it. He went to the premiere, which he said he enjoyed it, and he'd watch more, which is quite high praise from him, because he's pretty choosy. It's a lovely looking house you have. It's sort of cabin-esque.
Thank you. Yeah. 1895, and we've been here since 1989.
Is that a piece of a piece of musical score on the wall behind your right shoulder? Is that
yellow?
Yeah.
That is the Lord's Prayer in ASL, American Sign Language.
Oh, wow. I didn't even, it never even occurred to me that it would be written down, but of course it would be.
Yeah. My dad used to be a sign language interpreter.
Wow. I've got a great friend who's a British sign language interpreter. And I think, and sometimes does the TV stuff. That's fantastic. And have you ever been interested in learning that, or has it just been too much of a mountain to climb?
I think it's just because, my parents tried so hard to get me to learn.
Yeah.
I'm just I don't want to.
That would Yeah, my mom did the same thing to me. She wanted me really badly to learn Arabic because I knew it as a very young boy. As soon as I got to the UK, I didn't want to know it anymore because it just made me stand out, which I didn't like. I think you're probably not too late if you want to change your mind.
Maybe. It's very difficult to get jobs in the areas I want to live if you're not bilingual.
Of course. Yes. And how are you going to do that?
I don't know. It's really expensive.
And can you use one of the language apps? Because they're very, I mean, French and Canadian French are quite different dialect in terms of dialect. And I know that in a lot of the ways that everybody speaks, both the Canadians laugh at the French and the French laugh at the Canadians.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We went on a trip to Quebec for school in grade 7. No one could understand us because we were speaking French, and they were speaking Quebecois.
So you're interested in moving to Quebec
I recently moved back in with my parents, so I want to get back to Ottawa.
Got it. Awesome. Are you still knitting? I remember there was a knitting.
Yes. Yeah. I left my project in the kitchen.
That's okay. Unless you want
I
to
had
get
to
it.
relocate very quickly. I'm in the middle of a row, but
oh, beautiful. Goodness.
It's a mock-up for a veil.
Wow. And that's a veil, obviously, to cover your face.
No, a wedding veil.
Wow. And what tell me, explain the kind of the aquatic colors.
That's just the colorway of the spare yarn.
Very practical of you.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Yeah. And how long are you going to spend on that? How long do you spend on things? Do you have like a kind of cut? Like, are you an impatient knitter, or are you a very patient? Because we have both sides of the coin in the club.
It depends on the project. Something like this, it's sort of like background knitting. So it's not my main project. It's just whenever I need to keep my hands busy and focus on something else.
Oh, you can watch that during Shantaram tonight.
Yeah.
You can do
depending on the project and like how the yarn feels in my hands.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just want to like get it done so I don't have to deal with it anymore. And sometimes I'm just like, no, I can take my time on this. I like working with this yarn.
And is your mom inviting anyone else, or just you and your papa?
It's just me and my parents for tonight. We're going to my sister's on Sunday. There's a fall festival thing in her town.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm taking my birthday cake with us.
You getting a birthday cake tonight?
I'm making my birthday cake.
You're making your own birthday cake. How perfect is that?
I'm on day 3 and it's going wrong at every single step, but hopefully it'll be worth it.
Spare eggs.
I haven't gotten to the egg part yet. I'm making the fillings and it's all going wrong, but it'll taste good, I hope.
Delicious. I don't see how you can really go wrong with fillings, because unless you want them to be like honeycombed or something.
Well, the pomegranate molasses went wrong.
Oh, sounds good though. Did it get too bitter? Did you overcook it?
I think I did, but it's still too runny. Like it didn't thicken enough.
Right.
But it still made good jam, which I then contaminated with something. But it tastes good and I can't make it again. So I still have to use it. The white chocolate isn't going well, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. The cake is lemon pistachio. I can't screw that up, I hope. So.
Well, I don't know how to make desserts, so you're way ahead of me. I'm not a cake maker, or I'm just on the very edge of pies.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
I am not a pastry chef, but it sounds like you have a lot better idea than I certainly do. And that's a good sounding combination of stuff. So you've got an ambitious birthday cake you're making for yourself. Well, listen, you have a wonderful time tonight. Say hi to your parents for me, even though they probably don't know who I am. And
they're really the reason I watch Star Trek.
and I so hope that your cake turns out.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robin.
Thank you.
All right, we've got another Rob birthday, Rob Levy. Levy? I always get that wrong. Can you
It's
pronounce that?
Levy.
It is Levy.
It's Levy.
And with so much going on in the world, that's the least of my worries. So,
Yes, that's kind of what I feel when people say my name wrong. I'm like, yeah, it's all good. I answer to pretty much anything if you're looking
Yeah.
in my direction. How are you, Rob? Happy? Is it your birthday? It is your birthday.
my birthday is Sunday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday!
Happy birthday.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Oh, Rob, it's really good to see you again. I noticed you're wearing a Joy Division. Well, who couldn't notice you're wearing a Joy Division t-shirt?
Yeah, we just saw New Order a couple weeks ago, and I dug out my Joy Division shirt, kind of, just because I was puttering around the house today, and this is I can get stuff dirty while I'm cleaning shirt. So
They would love to hear that. Actually, they probably really would like to hear
yeah, they really would. I mean, they're pretty working class. Yeah.
that. What's going on in your podcast world? What are you up to?
Well, I have a music podcast that I do totally by chance, like the pandemic, or like everyone else in the pandemic, just started tinkering around with stuff. And I think last time we talked, I was telling you I'm still reading books about different artists that I like and trying to discover musicians and authors and stuff.
Yeah.
But my friend Alan Seiler and my friend Anthony Williams and I were talking, and Alan's like, I'd really like to do a music podcast. So we kind of started one.
Fantastic.
So it's
And
called
how? What's the theme? Is there a theme, or you just?
Well, it's called Modern Musicology, and we basically pick a topic. A couple weeks ago, we talked about records from 1972. We've talked about bands with stupid names. We've talked about I wish I would have seen them live. We had Julianne Worden, who's on the Rick Steves podcast, come on and talk about travel and music and how they're related.
Goodness. Dude, you're really rocking with this, and
we're
you've
trying
only
to
just
get
started.
we're trying to get famous people to come on, even if they're not musicians, and just talk about music in their lives and how it affects them, but also trying to talk about, like, we're doing one on coming up about music and social justice. We're doing some stuff on I think this week we are recording good collaborations, bad collaborations, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we try to pick different subjects. Yeah.
I've just watched, I think it's about 7 hours. That tells you how much free time I've been having the last 2 months, of a documentary called Genius. I think that's. I think you've got to say it that way. It's sort of spelled that way, and it's the Kanye West documentary. He started off very beautifully. He's a very beautiful young man, and he happened to find this kid called Kuda, I think, or
Kuda the Kid.
Yeah, and he was a boyhood childhood friend of his, and he filmed everything that he did as a pup. So when he was just starting out, and he was producing a few records for the African American scene in Chicago, Chicago. Yeah. And he was just doing all that stuff. This kid was there with his camera. So it's kind of interesting. This kid's been with him the whole, he's not a kid anymore. Yeah. The same person and another guy has been with him pretty much for the last 35 years or 25 years, whatever it is. I find him very interesting, very dynamic. I know that he's, kind of betraying African Americans, and I know that he's done some pretty vile things, and he's, become a big Trumper, and he's done the latest Paris Fashion Week with White Lives Matter t-shirts. Probably not the smartest things to do, but I find him kind of really interesting because he's a bazillionaire. He keeps finding ways to make money because he does what everybody else does and just rebrands himself.
Yeah.
And his music got very weird halfway through his career, in that he just felt that he was God's messenger on earth, and a messianic complex is not uncommon. So he clearly was going through that, but it must be really hard to avoid that messianic complex when you're selling, 40 million records. It's like everybody's listening to everything you say. So it's a kind of, I would recommend you watch some of it.
I will. You know, part of the thing we're doing tonight is we're going to watch Shantaram, which it's on our list of things to do.
It's on the list of things. I hope you got a long list of things to do, because if you don't get to it, it's fine.
We're gonna get Indian food and watch Shantaram. So that's our plan for tonight.
That's a really good combination. That's a really good combination.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I hope I don't disappoint you. It's kind of
No.
weird. It's a weird, slightly weird relationship that you're about to watch me in a television show. Just kind of odd that I'm not even going to be there at. I mean, I could understand if we were having a drink before the play that I was in, because that's a historic relationship, you know, an audience and an actor. And I'll go, I'll see you after the play, and then off I go and come panting after the show and go, what did you think, sweetheart? What did you think? And you go, you were amazing. And I go, I love you. And that's the usual exchange.
Yeah.
But in this instance, I'm actually here in Budapest, and we're chatting. Well, a whole bunch of people are watching us right now, and doing that stuff and going, he's terrible. Just like the
It'll be great. It'll be great.
It'll be great.
It's just nice to see, for me, it's nice to see good people getting work, doing something they do coming out of the pandemic, right? And getting to pick projects where they get to sort of like do what they do well. And that's across the board, you know?
Thank you, Rob. And you know what? I completely agree with you. It's it's such a lifesaver to work with a bunch of amazing people. And people tend to, you know, give actors all the credit or all the debit, but it's a group game, and there's a whole bunch of people making sure that, you know, I don't have jam in my hair or whatever it is, my lunch in my hair, and people making sure that they cut away from the moment when I sneeze or cough or something on camera, and it all looks effortless. And the director comes, you know, will put me right when he goes, Sid, you could try doing this better. He'll give me another go at it, which you don't get on stage.
Yeah.
So it's a big old team effort, and I kind of hope they give us another season, because I miss all those guys. They were all really cool fun. They were really good guys.
Well, good.
Do you find that music is very difficult to be socially active in music?
Not now.
I ask. It's just that if you're popular and people listen to you, they don't. It's not often. It's very often much later they go, "Oh my goodness, that's what they were talking about."
I think now it's more risky. I mean, I think if Bob Geldof would have tried to do Live Aid now, the right would crucify him as a communist trying to feed the entire world, right? Yeah. You know, so I think now people are a little more reserved about it. They're either all in, they either hold back or they don't, right? Yeah. Yeah. And I think, but there's a lot of activism going on within, you know, independent radio and community radio, like, you know, to diversify it. It's like, we want more female voices on the radio. We want more people of color on the radio.
Well, that's a really interesting subject. Well, guys, you should, if you're interested, tune in and listen to Rob Levy podcast.
And Sid, if you want to come on, you're more than welcome to. You know.
And if you want a complete like vacuum of music knowledge to arrive for a few seconds, that'll be, suck the oxygen.
Well, Alan, the one stream between all of us, and we're all different, is that we all love David Bowie.
There you go.
So at some point, David Bowie and Sparks usually come up in every one.
That's very cool.
You know.
Well, good luck with it, my friend.
Yeah, thanks.
For coming to chat.
Yeah, thanks.
And have a happy birthday on Sunday.
I'm going to. Kat, thank you very much.
Damn straight.
Thanks, Rob. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, our next birthday shout out is Rachel.
Hello, it's good to see you again.
You too?
How are you? How is your COVID?
It persists.
Long or short, it's still the thing it is. And do you find it kind of encouraging that I'm going to get to your birthday in a second, but let's get this depressing bit out of the way, because it's really important and I want to know how you feel. The rest of the world is beginning to catch up. I'm beginning to, since we first talked a long time ago, I'm seeing articles all the time and doctors asking questions all the time and health experts shouting out the message in the States and everywhere saying we really have to pay attention to this juggernaut that we're sleeping on right now, because we're going to have a whole heap of trouble if we don't figure out what we're going to, how we're going to examine it. Do you get the sense that wave is beginning to swell?
Yes. So it's good that more attention is going to it. I think still not enough. and still not enough people are really concerned about the risk of long COVID. And this is something that a lot of sort of public health experts are saying, that the reason that people should still be wearing masks indoors is not necessarily because they're going to catch COVID and die, but because you can still get long COVID even if you're vaccinated. So the acute infection is going to be a lot less severe, generally speaking. It reduces the risk of hospitalization and death by somewhere like 90%, but it only reduces the risk of long COVID by 50% or so.
Right.
It might shorten the course of it. So I've heard of people who got COVID post-vaccination who had lingering effects for several weeks or several months. But it's hard to say whether they're going to be among the people who have effects for several years or even permanently. Obviously, we're just not that far out yet.
What would give you the sense that you should be suspicious that you have it if you have, because nearly 75% of the people in a lot of Western countries have had COVID. I don't think we have really good figures everywhere else. And you might not even realize, you may just think, oh, I'm under the weather, or because it's possible you didn't realize getting COVID. So how would you know you have long COVID? Because a whole bunch of people totally didn't report they had COVID. They took a test at home.
Yeah, so there's a cluster of kind of classic symptoms or most common symptoms. Persistent fatigue is kind of the biggest, but also the vaguest one, and the one that maybe people are the least likely to identify as long COVID, because it's so nebulous and there are so many potential causes of it. But sometimes it's like a specific pattern of fatigue. So there's something known as post-exertional malaise that's characteristic of chronic fatigue syndrome, or so MECFS. So if you feel significantly worse after exercise, not necessarily while you're exercising. So it really depends. So it's not like some people get short of breath and exhausted as soon as they try going up the stairs or something. But the way
That's pretty interesting, Rachel. I mean, what is really interesting about that is that exercise usually energizes people. And sometimes going to the gym for an hour makes people feel better. I know people are addicted to the gym because of that better feeling. So that's that is a really good tell, isn't it? If you're feeling unusually fatigued after an energizing piece of exercise.
Yeah, especially if you, sorry.
I think it's a cat.
This is Meg, yes.
Hello, Meg. It's a pleasure to meet.
What you'll often get is a crash at a slight delay after exercising. So either a couple hours afterward, you'll suddenly feel like you are incapable of standing up anymore. You just have to lie down. Or sometimes if I've had a day of just sort of more exertion than usual, more walking around, more standing up and interacting, then the following day I'll need a lot of sleep, and then also just not be able to do much. So that's kind of the post-exertional malaise. Another very classic long COVID symptom is brain fog, which is another kind of vague thing that could be caused by a lot of things, including, just ordinary stress. I describe it as a feeling of like having a fishbowl over my head, sort of, or that there's something between me and the world that's distorting it, and kind of hazing it over, that it's kind of difficult to process things. It's very difficult to read and just like concentrate on things.
This is invaluable information, Rachel, because these are pretty specific and really useful if you are having some of these sort of symptoms or even associated symptoms.
I was only able to get it diagnosed because other people with long COVID
Meg
was something that they had been diagnosed with. So then I had to get a referral to an ENT and get a camera up my nose and down my throat, which was delightful.
Delightful. Is that a Sauvignon you're drinking or a Chardonnay?
It's a Grenache Blanc.
Oh, that's a different grape. Very
Yes.
nice. Is it delicious?
I like it.
Absolutely.
What do you do to make yourself smile when you've got this? Because I think obviously the one thing you've got to try and do somehow, and under or any circumstance when you're feeling so bloody, is to find a way to smile or find a way to lift your spirits. And when we first talked about this, it was all quite new to you.
My main strategy is just sort of not dwelling on the situation.
Well, thanks very much, Sid, for talking to me about this.
No, it's fine. That's important. And but just like different things work for different people. Talking about it sometimes is fine, and
Yeah.
thinking very seriously about like, is this forever? And what will happen with my employment situation if it is? That's the road to ruin.
Yeah,
So
don't go there.
yeah, so I just need to not think about that. I have worked out a situation where I only have to commute in 3 days a week. And then the other 2 days I just work. God damn
Oh,
it.
there you are. And fade to black. Oh no, we're back again. What was really cool about that was the soundtrack as she did it. Wow. Awesome. She meant that with conviction. She's done with this whole Zoom thing.
She's a very noisy
Done.
cat.
We're done with this. That's very funny. Do you ever have, I'm always wondering about this, especially with kind of really interesting humanities subjects, like philosophy, where these are romantics they're kind of in my head, they're romantic subjects, that a young person would go, I'd like to be a philosopher, that's really what I want to do, because they've read this or that. And they come into your class and you've got whatever, however many there are. And is there a tell that one or two students might give you that you think to yourself, you haven't got a cat in hell's chance of being a philosopher?
Yeah, so there are different types of talkative and enthusiastic students. There are the ones that you really wish would shut up because they think they know more than they actually do, and they think their points are more interesting than they actually are. But then there are the ones that are asking the right questions just kind of instinctively. It's often just from people's writing that you can really identify who's good and who's not. And so that they've been absorbing it all and processing it all. They'll often need someone to play a mentoring role and say, you have the potential to be a really good researcher. But if you're going to get along in academic philosophy, you need to also kind of establish a reputation in live contexts. You need to ask questions at talks and start conversations at conferences. And that's how people will remember who you are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an actor and I'm not usually comfortable in front of lots of people. When I was a kid, I just simply didn't go to parties because I just didn't like all those people. Unless there was some one person at the corner I could just sit and talk to all night, and I would bore the living daylights out of them because I wouldn't let them go. Well, what are you going to do on your birthday?
I did. My birthday was actually September 30th.
Oh my goodness, a happy birthday for September the 30th.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Have a glass of wine on me.
Happy birthday.
Did you buy me a glass of wine? I can't remember. Oh, no, you did.
I did.
Okay, yes, thank you. Thank you,
Boom.
Colin. There was a get together. It was the pseudo DSTL, the replacement for it, because there was supposed to be a Destination Star Trek London meeting and then they canceled it.
Yeah.
So a few of us,
Hung out.
yeah. So yeah, yeah, that was nice.
Oh, fantastic. That's really cool. Were you in a pub scene or in a kind of hotel?
We met at a pub There are a couple of different pubs. It was a mini pub crawl.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And I'm so happy you got to hang out with Emma and also whoever had plane tickets from Germany. And all
It was
guys.
Karen and Yanina and Tanya.
That's fantastic. I love that. That's great. What a lovely, joyful thing to do.
Yeah, that was good.
Fantastic. Well, I look forward to talking to you again, Rachel. And I'd really like to talk a lot about philosophy because I don't know anything about it. I think I do, like a lot of people, but like, I think I can write a good poem, but I can't. It's lovely talking to you, Rachel. And please, hopefully, find ways to smile and make yourself as happy as possible, as often as possible, whenever possible.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Thanks, Rachel. All right, we've got one more birthday. Susanna.
Hi.
Hello. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday. That's really lovely, Susanna. Where are you again? I can't remember.
Czech Republic.
That's right. Every time I ask you that, and every time you have to remind me. What is that? What is that ribbon for back there? It says Maturon. Is it Maturon? It looks like that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I always love it when people try to like say Czech words. Actually, this is.
Oh no, I thought it was French.
No, it would be more like. I mean, it comes from maturity, so that's probably from Latin or something like that. No, that is. It says maturant, and it is when you are graduating from high school. So then you are maturant, and the big exam is maturita.
And you get to wear
Or
one,
if
and you
you're
get to
in
wear that for the. That's what you wear as you leave.
Yeah, kind of like this. Yeah, I mostly love like taking. Not taking care of stuff, but like writing things down and knowing in the future that I will have something to come back to.
Do you keep a journal, a daily journal?
Yes.
Love that. Now, I'm interested in a question. This is an interesting question. Do you write a journal for yourself or for someone else to read?
For myself.
So it never occurs to you while you're writing it that someone else might read that?
Well, it occurs to me, and then I get very angry at whoever could it be, because that's my stuff. It's my person.
I am probably so egotistical. I would have real trouble not sneaking in a flourish so that someone else might read this one day.
I mean, I literally have like lines. Oh, future self, if you're reading this. This is for my future self when I have amnesia for some reason.
That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. But that's really cool. I'm really impressed that you do that and you've been doing it for so long. I've got one friend who does the same thing.
For like 11 years, I believe. Something like that.
That's really cool. So what have you been up to? Have you thought, well, okay, I've got to learn this because I want to be earning money doing this in a few years?
No.
So you just haven't got a plan, which I like that, by the way. I'm totally relaxed about that.
I tried to get to multimedia, which is more on the like art style and stuff.
Yeah.
It would be like more what people would expect from me and what I would expect from myself.
So you sound like you're really enthusiastic about going into a life of IT work.
No. I mean, I enjoy it, but I do not enjoy the other stuff I have to study, which is for funny reasons, economics and economy. Teachers would kill me. Economy and accounting. So.
Oh, wow. That's an unusual couple of things you'd have to learn for IT.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on an economics school, so it kind of doesn't make sense.
Oh, that's the missing piece of the jigsaw puzzle you didn't tell me.
Yes.
You're learning economics.
I'm on economics school.
Right. Oh, that changes everything.
I literally sometimes say that astrology makes more sense, and I do not even believe in it. Because I actually know how it works.
Someone asked me the other day what star sign I was. I haven't been asked.
You're a
that.
Scorpio.
Like I am. I just went. I haven't been asked that since I was like 25. But do you believe in star signs? You
No,
just said
I do not believe in them, but I know very much about them.
Well, let me tell you something, because this is what I think. You know, when you get to 563 and a half years old, you will find out. You will look back at the history books, or the adjacent books next to the history books, and you will see that billions and billions of people have believed in astrology, in star signs, from all over the globe. Now, I don't believe in it, but I must be wrong, because I cannot be the only one who's right, and billions of people who are wrong. It's just not the way probability works. So I'm thinking there's something in there that I just don't understand, and so I've just dismissed it.
It is so vague sometimes that you can apply it to anyone.
I kind of think the same thing about ghosts and all that stuff. I don't believe in anything. I'm
Ghosts
not,
are more believable.
you see, I think they're all believable. I just don't quite see how to believe it, and that's that's my lack of vision. Rather than those people. That's just my 2 cents. But I think you're just wonderful to talk to. You're extremely lovely, Susanna, and I'm glad that you've kept all those bits and pieces back there. It's so nice.
I should keep it.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding? Of course you're going to keep it forever, please.
Well, I'm not sure if forever, you know, my immortality is still in question, but
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You never know. You might.
there will be more important things I will have to take with me, and I will have to leave something for the historians, you know.
Well, they've got your journals. You're fine. Have a good night, Susanna. It's lovely talking
Have
to
you a good night as well, Sid.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susanna. Happy birthday. All right. We are going to go talk to Kristen. This is her first time chatting with you, and it is not her birthday.
Oh, great.
Not my birthday.
Loving that, Kristen. Loving that. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm in law school. So, you know, talking to a lot of people a lot of the time about very particular things.
How do you like testing?
I love taking tests. I don't want to have to write a paper. I want someone to give me 3 hours of time and say, tell us everything you know about that. And then I want it to be done.
You are cut out for law school. You are ready to go.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I actually, a lot of people when they go to law school, like go right through undergrad and then just go right into law school. But I didn't do that. I worked and had a child and all that before I went into law school. So
Wow.
I think a lot of the things that people don't like about law school, I don't have the same like feelings towards, because like one of the big things is like cold calling, where the professor will just randomly call on people. And for some people, I think like who've been in school their whole lives, being wrong in front of other people in a school environment is like the worst thing that's ever happened to them. You know, like they have so much of their like self-image tied up in being someone who's good at school. Meanwhile, I'm just like, I don't know. I mean,
that's fantastic. How long have you been? And let's talk about the most important thing first.
Yeah.
How do you manage to be a mom and a law student?
I do. She goes to daycare. I have a picture of her. Let me pull her up. This is her more recently.
Oh,
yeah.
Hi.
And this is her as a baby.
I can see that. I can see. There's definite similarity there. That's gorgeous.
Well, no, I looked like a underbaked potato when I was a baby. Tova's beautiful. Like she's
yeah.
She's
stellar looking.
But I definitely love being a mom and love being a parent, but I've never been like as wholly self-sacrificing about it as I think the general society
that
wants you to be.
Yeah, absolutely. The kind of perfect mom syndrome thing.
Yeah,
that can. I hope we're kind of as a society over that. That's
so she goes to daycare and you know all that stuff, and not everyone in my life, you know, like agrees with that. but you know, they're allowed to have whatever opinion they want.
Oh my goodness, someone you actually gets to do what she wants to do because it might be healthy for a child as well. Ooh, not sure
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So how long have you got left before you have to sit some final horrifying final things?
This is my last year. Yeah, I'm wrapping it up. Yeah.
So is it September? I can't remember when or is it March? My wife has taken, I've been with her, she's taken 3 law exams since I've been with her, so I should know by now. When is your final?
So finals for the year are going to be in May, but then I sit for the bar exam in July.
Okay.
Yeah.
What state? Do you mind me asking?
Oregon.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Do you have an
Yeah.
idea what sort of law you want to do?
Yeah. Right now I'm interning at a firm that does plaintiff side employment and civil rights law. So,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's sort of on, you're veering towards state law. I mean,
Oh yeah, especially for employment law, the remedies in state court are so much better than what you're going to get federally. So most plaintiffs, at least here, bring their like employment discrimination cases and stuff as a state law claim.
But that's what a great thing to do. What a wonderful thing to be doing. And also you're picking particular line of law that you can sort of manage your hours.
Yeah.
Not at the beginning. You don't get to manage anything at the beginning because everyone's just going to kick you around the ballpark. But then, after a few years when you've got some stuff,
exactly. It is funny being in law school. It's like how much they emphasize the fact that they're not teaching you how to be a lawyer. They're like, when you get out of here, you're not going to know how to be a lawyer. And I'm like, that's really cool and interesting. So what exactly are you teaching me to do?
That's great. How was COVID for you?
Oh, I was spending most of my time at home anyway because Tova was just like a year old. So I was worried that she was going to get really stunted and weird if she was just interacting with me.
A ton of moms think the same way.
Yeah. But when daycare opened back up, we did that. And I was doing Zoom school for a while. And it was funny. Some of my professors were like, I do not want to see your private lives like on your Zoom screen. And like, meanwhile, I'm like holding a baby. Like, well, that's what's happening. So,
well, this computer happens to be in my private life, Professor.
It's actually you who's intruding, Professor.
Maybe we should go to Starbucks.
What do you do to have fun with either with your little one or by yourself?
I'm working too. So
you don't have a lot of time for fun?
No.
What's the matter with you?
Fun's really underrated. Fundamentals are the building blocks of fun.
What are you watching on TV if you even get a chance to do that?
That's actually how I found this. Is I got really into Deep Space Nine over COVID, and then yeah.
That'll do it. That's how you found us.
Yeah.
That's very cool. We've been doing this for a long time. We've been doing this since April 19 or May 1920.
1920. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I forgot what millennium it was for a second there. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
That happens to me. Which millennium am I in? That's really cool. So you are going to take your finals in spring. You're going to be all out and ready to go in the summer, working for some big company that has people in gray suits.
No, I think
going.
The place I'm interning now has 2 lawyers, so it's not like some big firm or anything. It's not like big deal.
That's great. That's really wonderful. Well, I can't think of anything to tell you that you don't already know or know better than I do. So I'm not going to pretend to give you any advice on this particular course of career, but I just love your courage of just getting on with it. Just saying, dang it, I'm going to go and do what I need to do to have a fun, a life.
Yeah.
The child will be just fine. I mean, I wouldn't say that to everybody, but it seems to me that youngster.
It is really funny. I think a lot of people
had very strong opinions about child rearing, you know, and that's their
Everybody's
right.
all up in each other's face, aren't they? Everybody's got strong opinions about what you should, who you should kiss, about who you should pray to. I mean, there's so many good, strong opinions out there, aren't there? Isn't it kind of annoying?
Yeah.
That's my personal life, and you're making assumptions about me. You don't know me.
It was funny. Yeah. One time when I was at work, I was bartending throughout my entire pregnancy. That was what I was doing for work. So it was always funny, you know, being behind the counter and like coming out and just being like visibly 9 months pregnant.
Well, I'll just carry these right here.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just stack them right here. All my glasses. No, and it was funny. One time a customer came in and he was like, "Can I buy you a glass of red wine?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm pregnant." And he's like, "Yeah, just a glass of red wine." I was like, "That's so sweet of you. No, thank you."
That's really funny.
What is the current wisdom on that? Is it just no alcohol at all?
It's probably most likely that the advice is none at all, because the exact wrong people will hear a little bit is okay and take it
Also, and you're right, also everyone's so different that one might be very bad for someone and another person can, you know.
Or just even the people who hear like a little bit is okay are the exact kind of people to take that to an illogical extreme and then blame the advice.
Well, listen, it's been lovely talking to you, Kristen, and it's thanks for showing the gumption and coming up and saying hi to everyone. It's really nice. Come back whenever I do. But normally I'm very regular, but recently I've been kind of off. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.
That was very specific. Good job. Maybe it'll be, I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's like astrology. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I do.
I get where you're coming from.
I'm not about to switch around and you know, ask you what star sign you are. But I'm not going to hold it against someone if they do.
The mysteries of the universe persist.
Mysterious place.
Let's go ask Jennifer about it.
Definitely.
Jennifer, come talk about the mysteries of the universe.
And Rachel.
You like that segue?
Yeah.
I love that segue.
Jennifer, there she is.
Hello, Sid.
Hello. How are you doing?
I just got over COVID, so I am much happier now.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
And also, this is my friend Stephanie.
Stephanie, what a pleasure to meet you.
Stephanie and I went to divinity school together at Vanderbilt.
Wow. What do you think of Jennifer's book?
Absolutely loved it. Loved it. And my dad has read it. My cousin has read it. Like a whole host of people in my family, in my little world have read it and been like, oh, damn. That's yeah. It's been a really it's been a very informative tool for people that don't have any language or any experience with some of the stuff that Jennifer does. So to read what she wrote is like, oh, perspective I never thought of, I could never have imagined. And there's a little more room for understanding and grace and all of that crap.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jennifer, I know you go by both they and she. So what is your preference? Because I remember you used to have they and she on your in parentheses back in the day.
So yeah, so I have settled, because I like to make everyone's life difficult, I have settled with G.
Okay, you've gone to the next place.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Another one. I kind of would prefer that there was a standalone word personally, just for the sake of practicality.
Yeah.
That's handy for me because I can learn a new word, but I can always mess up with a word that I'm using for some other word and sometimes another word, and then
make no mistake, everybody can mess this up.
I hope you. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Well, the working is where the love is. That's all we got. The rest of it is age. What's going on? What's happening, Jennifer?
Goodness, a great deal is going on. I have my ordination interviews next month. Woo woo. I have 3.5 hours in November to basically defend that like a dissertation.
You're going to sail through. If they don't have some other problem that it's like difficult to understand, like astrology, you're going to sail through. If it's logic and spirituality and even theology, you're going to be fine.
And also, no one can you. No one. No one. Like, that's accurate. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. What made you? Why did you go to divinity school where you met this lovely creature?
I had a lot of questions and there was a lot of stuff I didn't know. And I lived in Memphis at the time, and I was in the process of very, very slowly getting a divorce. And I was like, physical separation is a great way to start this good time. I have a job that I can afford to live on.
And what is that? What are you up to?
I work for a ginormous government consulting firm, and I'm a human factors engineer. So I do usability. I'm in the process of redesigning the system that my company, we do a lot of veteran benefit.
Awesome.
We digitize veteran records. We package, print, and mail all of the veteran benefit communications. So everything related to the claims that they make, et cetera, the system that we use for that. I've had a almost 20-year career. This is the first time I've been really proud of the work I've done.
I'm really happy for you. That's really terrific.
Thanks.
That's really awesome. That's awesome.
I'll tell you what, one of my favorite things about being in divinity school with Jennifer is that there are so many times that we agree on so many things socially, politically. You put us in a room that is anything theological and we are like on the opposite side.
It's of course.
At every turn. It's amazing.
Of course. That is the whole point of discussing. That's the whole point of growing up, isn't it? That's how we grow up, is having these kind of dialectic discussions.
Yeah, so I think Sid, you and Stephanie would be in relatively similar.
I think we're probably
space.
on similar pages. Yeah.
I like it.
You and I are at least in the same book, but
you and I would educate each other. And that's the whole point.
But yeah, so that aspect of like we as in you and I are so interested in thinking it through for ourselves that it's helpful to have somebody else to think it through with, which is a terrible way to end a clause on a preposition. But
See, I didn't notice that, but now you mention it.
Look, I'm starting up classes again on Monday, so like my brain is shifting back into student mode.
Yeah, you got to do that.
It's a gift that we know how to pull out of each other, and those are the people that you need to find in the world that are helpful to find in the world, the ones who are innately curious on their own, and then get together with other innately curious people and are just like, let's do this.
Yeah.
And then have really good boundaries where we're like, oh, you have stepped a bridge too far. Yeah. It's been lovely. We're done here. Yeah. We haven't had that.
This bonkers lady worked full-time and was a student full-time at Vanderbilt University.
Wow.
So like, let's all be in awe of the fact that she is not dead.
Well, but I also didn't procreate. So Kristen, who's doing law school and has multiple, like that's harder. That's harder, just for clarity.
All right.
So you can't put your full-time job in day school. Everything's really tough in different ways.
Yeah. Right. I couldn't do the job that I was doing. I couldn't have done div school and this. Now that I can focus back on a professional career, I'm
just accept that you're impressive. Like, just deal with it.
You know what I love about this is that you both look so remarkably happy. I mean, that is a terrific thing. Post-COVID, post-chaos, whatever it is I'm going to use, just linguistic flourish for you, Stephanie.
Absolutely.
I think there's also a legit, Jennifer came to Memphis to see me in February, but one of my favorite people, like ever. So it's nice to like lay eyes on you.
Yeah.
And know that you're not dead.
I am not dead.
You're not. No way. It's lovely to see you, Jennifer. Absolutely. And it's lovely to meet you, Stephanie.
Nice to meet you as well.
I don't like the fact that I took grab the last 10 minutes because we could have just gone off into space, which has been kind of fun. It would have been a lot of fun because I think these kind of are really, really fun because there's just no bottom to the well.
But maybe we could pick it up another time.
We would both be delighted. It's good to see you, Sid.
Good to see you too. Nice to meet you, Stephanie.
Nice to meet you as well. Bye, Mel.
Bye. Thanks to both of you. I'm going to share my screen real fast.
Oh, good.
Geneva did not mention this.
Yes, I've seen that. I love that.
Mel is delightful for everyone to know.
Yeah, with
So,
the
in real life. They were in Topeka last month, right? Yeah.
I thought you were in Ireland or something. But
Yeah,
no.
he saw the sign behind us and he was like, where were you, Ireland? No, just an Irish.
The only happening spot in Topeka on a Friday night.
Okay, folks, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to let Sid get some sleep.
Yep.
Yep. We are still in pop-up mode with
You're
these
still
meetings.
doing it. You guys just amaze me. You're just amazing. I
All
see
you
you,
guys.
Daisy and Amy and Roland, you lot of this shadow council. Late. It's late. I'm now
It is, I was
beginning
gonna say, you're starting to,
delirious. Yeah.
he's starting to.
And I
should-
haven't even had a
this
whiskey
out.
yet. Exactly.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks
Have
for
a lovely weekend, guys.
Yes.
Nice seeing you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.